tidy this all up now. Hey peeps, welcome to another video. Today it is the show us your stash tag or challenge or questionnaire. I don't know if you remember, but a while ago when I was up at Big Birds, I sat down with her and we went through her entire fabric stash and we looked at the different fabrics that she'd bought, the ones that she'd been gifted, what plans she had for them, and I really enjoyed it. And I have sat down with you guys and gone through my much larger stash. I had to split that video up into different types of fabrics because I have so many, and again I really enjoy sharing that with you guys and showing you my collection and showing you the fabrics that I love. Now it's been something that I have wanted to do for a while, to kind of like go to people's houses and root through their stash with them. Obviously with what's going on at the moment, that's completely impossible, and the other side of things is as well that I actually haven't been invited to anyone's house to do that. Although Rachel did mention that she would let me come and help organise her fabric stash. I'm not sure how sensible that was, Rachel. The lovely Dani and I came up with the show us your stash questionnaire, and we're getting started, and we hope that you guys will take part as well. So we realised that getting you guys to show us your entire fabric stash could end up being a very lengthy process like my one was. So we have narrowed it down to a few questions that will hopefully get you to have a think about your fabric stash, think about some of the fabrics in there and the stories behind them, and then share them with us. So let's get started. The first question is your favourite fabric. I found this really difficult to narrow it down, and I've actually just realised that my favourite fabric is also on the bottom of the pile that I have next to me. 2 secs. So I could have picked a lot of fabrics for my favourite fabric, and actually a few of the ones that are in this pile are also some firm favourites. I think I'd have to say that my very favourite fabric is the Liberty Carline in blue cotton lawn. It's the Tana cotton lawn. I bought this with a gift voucher which was a birthday present and some money that I had saved up when Mum and I went to the knitting and stitching show in March. I think it was the time it snowed. I think it was that one. I have 5 meters of this. It's going to be an 8577. I have had this for a good 2 years now, and I know exactly what it's going to be, like I say, but I just kind of didn't get around to it last summer, and it's on my kind of make 9 for this year because I've picked 9 fabrics rather than 9 patterns. I love this, and I know I can make the 8577, and I know it fits, and I know I love it, and I know I'll wear it. So I don't know what was holding me up last year, and I don't know why I haven't started on it yet this year, but this, I just love it. I love the print so much. I love that it reminds me of going shopping with Mum. I love that part of it is a birthday present. So yeah, this is a really beautiful fabric. I love this print. They do it in yellow, they do it in red and pink, and I have the pink, although it's on a poplin. They did it on purple. I have the purple, and again it's on a poplin. I have the smaller red roses one, which is on a poplin. I don't have the yellow one, and I would really like it. And they've also just done one that's on a kind of sky blue background with cream roses on a silk base, but that is £50 a metre, so I won't be getting that anytime soon. But yes, I think this would definitely have to be my favourite fabric, the Liberty Tana Lawn in the Carline blue print. I love it. If any of these fabrics are available, I will list them in the description box down below, but I do think that the majority of them are not going to be available, because the next one is my oldest fabric. So again, there were a couple of contenders for this because I have been collecting fabric for probably about 18 years, if not a little bit longer. This one is one of the ones that's the oldest in my stash, and it actually is a sari. Mum bought me this. She bought it back from her travels abroad, and I can't remember where she got it from. I'm guessing India. It's an absolutely beautiful kind of chiffon sari with gold metallic running through it and flowers all over it. And as with most saris, there is like a different kind of panel on the end here, so bigger flowers, and then that stops and goes into, so it's a different colour as well, but the colour carries on along the borders. So yeah, I've had this in my stash for a good 18 years, I think. Maybe not quite that long, but it's been in my stash the longest, and I remember having this in the most houses that I've lived in. As I say, it was a present from my mum. I do know what I want to make with this, and I actually have some fabric in this stash that this is going to go with that has another question attached to it, so I'll show you that when we get there. Yeah, this is the one that I've had the longest, and I think it's absolutely beautiful, and it's going to make a gorgeous dress, because as I say, I do know what I want to do with that. I now have to fold this up and put this away. Fun times. Okay, so the next question is a fabric that you're scared to cut into, and these were also in the running for fabrics that I've had for the longest time as well. They are both Dior silks. They're border prints. These ones will not be featured in my border print month plans because, as I say, I'm terrified to cut into these ones. So it's kind of like a silk satin at the top, then we have a Devore part in the middle, and then there's velvet at the bottom. And as I say, this is a Dior silk, and Mum bought me this from Kuwait, and I have two actually. So this is the bluey greeny version, and I think I have 2 meters of this one. And then there is also, I'm gonna have so much fabric folding to do after this minty green version, which is the same kind of principle. So silk satin with the Devore parts at the top, coming down into some really beautiful and bright kind of tie-dye effect at the bottom. So again, another border print, but another one that you won't be seeing me try to work with this month. And I think this one I have a little bit more of. I think it's 3 meters of this one. So I don't know what I want to do with these for a start, and I'm also utterly terrified of cutting into them because they are the shifty, slippery nightmare fabrics that look amazing and feel amazing to wear, but are an absolute pain to work with. So yeah, I've had these again in my stash for the longest time, probably as long as the sari fabric. It might have been the same trip that she bought these on, because as I say, these are from Kuwait, the other one was from India, but I think actually these might be older than the sari fabric. I don't know what to do with these. I do have this butterick pattern, which I kind of like the idea of for these, because I think it would work with the type of border print and the way that the fabric drapes and things like that. But I also think that maybe it will work because I think the fabric is similar. And also the thing with the butterick pattern is that it is a mini, it's a slightly more fitted skirt, so I'm not sure that that actually would work for me. I have a beautiful silk skirt that I got from Monsoon that was done with a border print that I'm quite tempted to try and maybe make something with one of these with something like that. But again, I'm really terrified of doing the wrong thing with this, so that's why it's remained, or with both of them, that's why they've remained in fabric form for as long as they have. I probably ought to suck it up and try and do something with them, but like I say, utterly terrified, utterly terrified. What would you do with them? What would you do with 3 meters of this one and 2 meters of the other? Because this is the thing, look, I mean, look, it's just, I don't know. I don't know, but it's so pretty. So yeah, they're the fabrics that I am absolutely terrified to cut into because I don't want to do the wrong thing with them. Yeah. Okay, so the next question is the fabric that you don't have a clue what to do with it. Usually when I buy fabric, I have a pretty good idea of what I want to do with it. There are very few that I buy just because I don't know if that's 100% true. Maybe about 80% of the time I'm buying fabric because I know what I want to do with it, and 20% of the time is just because it's so pretty and I need it, and then I'm going to try and figure out what I want to do with it later. So the one that I've picked for that particular question is this coating that I got from M. Rosenberg and Son, and it just says web design, 60 inches wide, £12 per meter, and I think I have 2.5 meters of this. I think I have more of this than I thought I did. I remember that I got the last of the bolts, and I also have this type of fabrics. It's kind of fused on, it's really pretty, but I have 5 meters of this with leafy prints all over it, and I know what coat I want to make with that. I want to make the Gertie princess coat, but like I say, I have about 2.5 meters of this one. I bought the last of the roll, it was £12 per meter. I bought, they charged me £24 for whatever was left, and it works out about 2.5 meters, so I got half a meter for free, which was very nice of them. I think it was the end of the day at one of the shows, and they were just like, yeah, let that one go. So I don't know what I want to make with this one. I kind of have in my head this Lacala jacket, and I really like this style of jacket. I think it would be really cool. I'd like to make the front kind of panel with leather trim, black leather. I think that would be very cool as well. But I don't know if there are too many panels in it to break up this print, which is a very large print. And as I say, I don't have enough to start pattern matching, so that's not really an option. But I don't like the kind of coats that don't have many panels to them. I prefer coats that are panelled and fitted. That's just me. So that's, I think, why I'm stymied with this one, or stymied? Let me know in the comments down below how you say it. So yeah, I don't know, I'm stuck. I've had this, again, this is from a knitting and stitching show. I think I've had this for 3 years now, and I really want to make it up because I think it would be really nice, and I kind of like the idea of a shorter coat with it, but again, I don't know which one. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comment section down below. Next we have fabric with a story, and again, I have a few of those, and I have kind of two to show you here. So the first one is this, it's a viscose Dobby silk from, I got it from Sherwood Fabric. Well, this is the thing, it's a Lady McElroy print. It's called Karen Palms. This one there is more of, so I will link it in the description down below. I genuinely don't remember ordering this. I went through my entire Sherwood Fabrics history and I can't find this fabric on there. I don't think it was gifted to me. If it was, if you sent this to me as a gift, please let me know in the comments down below, because thank you very much for number one, but I genuinely don't remember ordering this. I have had a few foggy days when I was on some heavy medication last year, where I had made a couple of orders in the evening whilst on the medication that I genuinely didn't remember, and when the fabric turned up it was like, oh wow, but they were from the textile centre. And I remember, I remember the kind of like the order and the things that came together, and obviously this was not one of them. I don't know, I have 5 meters of this. I love it, of course I do. It's got leaves and flowers on it. I think it's beautiful. I kind of want to make a shirt dress with it with long sleeves for the autumn winter, because I like that kind of style, but I genuinely don't remember ordering this. So if it was a present from somebody and you gifted this to me and I'm just being an absolute terrible person and forgetting that, please let me know in the comments down below and put me out of my misery. Otherwise, I have no clue where this came from. But I'm very happy to have it. I don't think it was random fabric ordering late at night under any kind of influence, but yeah, I genuinely don't remember where this one came from. My other fabric with a story is this silk dupioni, and it is the royal blue and red kind of colour shift silk. I actually have 2 lengths of this, and we bought it in Saudi Arabia from Lulu's, which was a supermarket, and the supermarket had a silk department, because of course it did. It was £8 per metre, and this was all that they had of this particular colourway. And this is actually supposed to be the bridesmaids dresses for myself and Ree, or small girl type creature, for my sister-in-law's wedding. But I knew that I wanted a big circle skirt for my bridesmaids dress, and I ended up making the Kittenish Behaviour Grace dress. And then Rianne wanted the Deer and Doe Belladonna dress, and I knew that I couldn't get both of those dresses. I think I have 6 meters here. I knew I couldn't get both of those dresses, the dresses that we both wanted, out of this fabric. So I asked my sister-in-law if I could use the cotton silk fabric I got from Spoonflower in the Peacocks Have Fab Pads print for bridesmaids dresses, and she said yes. So I have made those bridesmaids dresses and they looked awesome. The theme of the wedding was peacocks, so it worked really well. That meant that I got to keep these because I donated the cotton silk blend for free, and I got to keep these. So I want to make the Kittenish Behaviour Grace dress or something similar to that, and I want to use this fabric with this fabric, because I think, now I may actually change my mind and get myself a flat coloured dupioni to have this over the top of, because I think it may be a waste to put this beautiful colour shift one underneath this. But I really like the way that silk dupioni feels. I like working with it. If you're going to start working with silk, this is a really good one because it behaves itself. It does fray, so you do need to address that. But I like the structure that it gives, and I like the full skirtedness. So I'd want to make like the Kittenish Behaviour Grace dress with a full circle skirt on the bottom half of it. And then what I wanted to do was use this sari as an overlay. So kind of have like that at the bodice perhaps, or the end piece at the bodice, the bigger flowered piece, which I think is the other end, because of course it is. Yes, this bit. So have this as kind of the overlay for the bodice perhaps, and then have the rest of this gathered down, have this as like this bit as the waistband, and then gather the rest of it down and to put over the circle skirt with that around the bottom edge. I think that's going to look absolutely beautiful, and I think it's going to work really well together. But like I say, I'm not sure that this, to have it underneath this, I think I might actually get a flat colour dupioni, because this one is just so pretty in the colour shift, and I wouldn't want to lose the colour shift. So yeah, this is another one that I don't know what I'm going to do with. I had a good idea, but putting them together, yeah. So I think maybe just the Grace dress by itself, because it is really, really pretty, but I like that colour shift, and I'd like to be able to keep that on show, and if I had the overlay over the top, that wouldn't work. But yes, so this is another fabric with a story. So they were the questions that Dani came up with, and they were pretty much the same questions that I was percolating in my brain. I added a few more, but only a few. And the next one is your most precious fabric and why. So I have this fabric, which is a mesh fabric with embroidery, Swarovski crystals, 3D motifs added onto it. It is absolutely stunning. I love this so much. I do actually have a dupioni to go underneath this, and I also have some other trims that can go over the top of this. I love this. This was a joint Christmas birthday present from Mum and Dad the last time I was in Saudi Arabia with them. I think I have I have 2 meters, because I remember this was something like £70 a meter. This was very expensive. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I think I even have video of Dad and I walking into the shop buying the trim that kind of goes with this. I want to make an evening gown out of this, and I want to use, I have this image in my head of, it's a floor length evening gown, but there's like a thigh high or even hip high split, and this fabric is underneath the split with nothing behind it, so it's a bit risque. And then this is kind of like also draped somehow over the bodice. I like the fact that the top of the netting doesn't have anything on it, so you know, it could even be kind of literally draped up there. But yeah, I have in my head what I would like with this, but it does involve making a corselet to wear underneath it, and you know, there's a lot of structure in this gown and things like that. So, and I have nowhere to wear a gown like that at the moment. Possibly ever. I have had this for 5 years now at least, because yeah, we went to Saudi the last time about 5 years ago. Mum and Dad used to live there, for anyone that doesn't know. They had entire malls of, and I mean malls of, fabric shops, and only fabric shops, and all the windows were draped with fabrics like this, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I kind of know, like I said, I kind of know what I want to make with it, but it's another one I think is going to sit in my stash for a while until I pluck up the courage to actually get around to doing that. So the next question is dream fabric, and this is a question that I kind of wanted to pose because every now and again I will go and look on Joel & Son's website, and they have absolutely beautiful fabrics, like drool-worthy, dream-worthy fabrics, absolutely stunning. I think the most expensive fabric they have is a lace like this, but it's been completely handmade, and it's £7,500. Yes, £7,500 per metre. Can you imagine? I don't think, I mean, I couldn't imagine cutting into it, let alone wearing a dress made from something that expensive. I would be constantly panicking that I'd snag it or ruin it or do something bad to it. But that's not my dream fabric. I recently discovered a shop in Italy that sell Dolce & Gabbana style fabric, and I think it is actually Dolce & Gabbana style fabric and Gucci fabric and Fendi and Louis Vuitton and things like that. I would absolutely love probably about 5 meters, so it would be incredibly expensive because I think they're around £90 per meter, but I would love some of the Dolce & Gabbana printed either silk, which would be terrifying, or the cotton, which would be less terrifying, Dolce & Gabbana print fabric to make my own very own Dolce & Gabbana print dress. I absolutely adore everything that Dolce & Gabbana put out. I love their shoes, I love their handbags, I love the jewellery, I love the phone cases, I love the silk scarves, I love the little hair ties. I mean, the hair ties are, for a thin hair tie, it's like £145. 2 secs, battery's dying. Yeah, for the thin hair tie, it's something like £145. And I can't bring myself to do that. As much as I would love to own a piece of Dolce & Gabbana, I think if I ever did do that, I would buy myself a pair of shoes. There are a couple of pairs of shoes. The Majolica print shoes, oh, they're so beautiful. But yeah, my dream fabric, I think, would be one of the Dolce & Gabbana prints. And yeah, then working up the courage to actually sew it would be the next challenge. Probably end up in the pile like this of like my precious that I can't possibly touch. That would be my dream fabric, I think. I mean, as much as the £7,500 a metre embroidered tulle is beautiful, I just no. I could never afford it, and I would be terrified to cut into it, and I'd be terrified to wear it, so no. And the very final question is, where do you keep your fabric stash? And the answer for me is all over the house. I have it secret squirreled away in many places. So I have an entire one of these metre wide, and they're the larger, the taller and deeper wardrobes from IKEA, the Pax wardrobes. So they're 1 metre wide, 60 centimetres deep and 236 centimetres tall. And I have one of those entirely filled with fabric. I have a drawer in the next wardrobe over with my Make 9 fabrics, which I really do need to get a move on and start making up some of them. I have 4 or 5 shelves in the sewing room downstairs with fabric. I also have 4 Joann's bags stuffed full of my shorter cuts of fabric, which if you've watched the hangout, one of the hangouts in April, I went through with you guys and kind of labelled everything, refreshed myself of what was in there, which was a good thing. And I also have a pile of my knit fabrics underneath my desk in the sewing room. So yeah, I keep my fabric everywhere. It used to live, this is amazing to me, it used to live in a big IKEA cardboard box under my bed, and that was it. I had one box of fabric, and it's grown, it's taken over. I constantly say that fabric shopping, pattern collecting and sewing are all completely separate hobbies, and I like to dedicate a lot of time to all 3 of those hobbies, but fabric collecting is probably the one that I'm most prolific at. It's my birthday tomorrow, and I have vouchers for Sherwood Fabrics, and my boyfriend has bought me fabric from Sherwood, so, and my mum and dad are buying me fabrics from Sherwood's for my birthday, so yeah, there's going to be a fabric haul coming your way, a Sherwood's fabric haul coming your way very soon. As I say, this was a collaboration between myself and Dani from Pocket or Two, and of course I will have listed her channel down below. Go and check her out if you haven't already. It was really fun coming up with the questions, and it's been really fun sitting down and answering them with you actually. Well, the beauty about this tag or challenge or questionnaire is you don't have to have a YouTube channel to take part. If you do have a YouTube channel and you'd like to take part, you'll find the questions listed below. Please do film your video, show us your stash, and yeah, I really look forward to seeing the videos that you make. But if you don't have a YouTube channel, you have an Instagram or you're part of the Peeps group, you can use the prompts and you can put photos of your fabrics on your Instagram, or as I say, in the Peeps group, because we would love to see what your answers to these questions would be. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!